Where is your other friend? Ayush, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
Fine, sir.
Oh, that's wonderful, huh? Now tell me, did I finish the chapter called somebody calls you. Are you finding it easy, Ayush, listening and understanding the chapter?
Yes,
Sure.
good. Yes, sir.
How about you guys? I want to hear it. Ye kya hai? Who is this? Subhashri. What is inside? Does my Subhashri looks like this? Okay. We have to start with a new chapter, hydrosphere. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, I did start that chapter. So,
No.
no. Are you sure? Thoda sa kya, thoda sa. Next time, draw a more big smile. Hai na? Because you always seem to be very tense. Is it so? At least in my lectures. On lectures. And when we are Chinese, Ayush, I'm asking you present. Are you present, Ayush?
Yes, sir.
I put your mark. Now for hydrosphere, let's, in fact, what do you call it?
Sir, 11 chapters are coming.
Oh, that is chapter. How beautifully she is written color wise. 9th ICSE. Okay.
8 to 18.
But when is the exam starting?
Or 16 November.
What's it?
16 November.
And by the time I might finish. We are in chapter number 10 now.
11.
Oh, the last chapter there. Okay, good then. So put the heading for hydrosphere. We are going to understand the introduction. Then we are going to understand the meaning. Then we are going to understand the difference between two things, waves and tides.
Sir, I completed the times.
Oh, I completed up till here.
Yes.
So it's good, huh? We are proceeding here. I thought I was just going to start with chapter. Then did we do nature of tides? High tide and low tide.
Yes.
Yes, so that also I've done spring tide and neap tide.
I think we have periodicity of time.
Oh, periodicity. Put this heading in your notebook. I should also this heading, periodicity of tides. Let's see. How many brothers you got?
One.
Right? When you get back.
One watch, one pen, and one playroom base. Yeah, 11. He's in 10.
Oh, but इतना पैसा पापा नहीं थे.
He's my cousin.
Hey guys, when you understand the word periodicity, you have to remember in a day how many tides are caused. Any idea how many tides will be caused? Normally we have alternating high and alternating low tide. Look at that expression. क्या हो जाता है मुझे देख के एकदम नहीं अरे बोलो ना मैं भी खुश हो गया. I love to see your expressions. है ना China, she's reacting. देखो, it is not the mouth. You are into Bharatanatyam. Now stop. Okay, so when you used to say the word periodicity, every day we have 4. What does 4 means?
4.
Okay.
4 times.
4 times, 2 high tide and 2 low tide. So don't try. I'm just explaining. So we are moving into paragraph called periodicity, page number 118. Ayush, you got your book now, the textbook?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
UT volume. Show me the book. Let me see. What are you having?
Oh, wait a minute.
Page number is 118. Okay, I'm reading it. On an average, every place experience underline tides twice a day. It is there in the textbook also. Tell the page number 14.
91.
In textbook page number, it is 91. 9 and 1. Okay. Let's move on then. After that, since the Earth completes rotation roughly 20 hours, every place should experience underline tides after 12 hours. Next, each day tide delayed 26 minutes. No need to underline because the moon also rotates on its axis while revolving around the sun. Because now when we talk about the word moon, everybody is very careful. Why it's so careful nowadays? Chandra. So what is the next? Aditya L1. What it is?
They will see the sun.
What is the name? But are they going? No. It's just a satellite. It's going to be a safe distance between the Earth and the Sun, where it can take
It
pictures.
will not
It will not land.
land.
Chali, let's move on. When the tide center completes one round, underline the moon's position is ahead of the tide. The moon also revolves around the Earth. With the result, the tide center takes another underline 52 minutes. That's why it's delayed by 26 minutes. Now, when they are going to types of tides, everyone look here. Nature second upper. I will write the heading types. Now we have two tides. Anybody? One is a spring tide, and other is a neap tide. If I want to explain spring tide in the simplest, I say highest of the what will be? Complete. Highest of the high tide, correct? How do you then say about neap tide? Lowest of the low tide. Lowest of the, come on, repeat everyone. That is which tide?
Neap tide.
Come on, you say Ayush, spring tide, reading it from the board.
Height of the
High tide. Neap tide, read it.
lowest of the low tide.
So what does it mean? Every day we have a high tide and we have a low tide. Let's read it from the wall. The oceanic tides are caused due to underline tide producing forces. Bracket sun and the moon. There is a lot of underline temporal and spatial variation. What is temporal? What is spatial? Today she is a little bit more accurate. What is spatial?
Space.
Space.
That is spacious. That's spacious.
Space. Spacious. Temporal matlab different temperature, different pull. Am I correct? Spatial, you guys are correct. Based on the geographical space. Don't say only. Correct. Second point. There is a lot of because of variation in the intensity of tide, underline forces, several types of tides are caused. Two important tides. First, vertical high tide, underline vertical high tide, when the sun, the moon, and the earth are almost circular line in the same line. Such tides are called underline spring tide. Now, did I not draw the diagram? Why I am drawing the diagram? Did you everyone see this diagram? Which one? The first one or the second one? The first one.
First.
All the three planets are in the straight line. So who will have the highest pull? Earth will have the highest pull. But who is going to pull it? Both the sun and the moon. Is a double pull is there. So automatically what tides will be caused? High tide. But what kind of high tide? Spring tide. What is spring tide, Ayush? Highest of the high tide. Every day will be have a high tide, but not every day will have a which tide? Spring tide. I don't know, you might be born in that year when Mumbai was deep in water. 26 July. What about 2004 and 5, I think. 4 and 5. Mumbai had the spring tide. And that day Mumbai did not have a heavy rainfall. Rainfall, I remember it was hardly 9 centimeters. That also it started after the moon. Moon matlab, I remember when I went to Lower Parel, they have a rain gauge. It's like a test tube, bigger one with a marking, and it is kept away from building, away from any trees. And we have this two meteorological department. One is Santa Cruz, another is Colaba, the place. They kept a rain gauge, and the pitter drops drop it into, and they measure the centimeter. And that day it was a moderate rainfall to Mumbai. That also it started after 2. But then it rained like everything. Then the trouble was what? When this rainwater was getting into Arabian Sea, what was Arabian Sea enjoying? The highest tide. Which tide it was? Spring tide. That's why that water was coming out and this water was going in. Then Mumbaikars were deep in water. Have you heard about 26 July?
Yes.
That was the. Ayush, you heard about 26 July?
Yes, sir.
What had happened?
So, Mumbai has,
Flood.
yes, sir.
Think with your parents. Did you born that year?
No, sir.
You're not born.
No.
Then how do you know then there was a flood in Mumbai? You saw it in the news channels, is it?
Yes, sir.
Hey, where are you located, Ayush? Khargar, Panvel, where are you living?
Harbour, sir.
Nerul, is it?
Harbour.
Khargar. The Panvel was the most worst affected section. For the Kalamboli, that's a Panvel Kalamboli Nazir. People said helicopters came in to throw the food packets. That was the trouble. Imagine. And in that trouble also people could have said, oh, I saw the helicopter very nearby. Hey, you are dying or you are seeing the choppers. Okay, let's proceed. We are moving to neap tide. The sun, the earth, and the moon come in the position. Circle that word. Quadrature. What is quadrature? Did you see the second diagram, everyone?
Yes.
They are in vertical line. Correct. So whatever the sun and the moon is going to have the pull, it is going to be nullified. Nullified since their position is like that, quadrature. Okay, let's go down. Tide producing forces of the sun and the moon, underline, work in opposite direction, resulting, circle the word low tide. Such a tide which is lower than the height of the normal, circle the word lower than the height of the normal, is called neap tide. The height of that tide is generally 20% lower. ऊपर मैंने एक लाइन छोड़ दिया, height of that tide is 20% higher. चलो, put the heading in your notebook, spring tide and neap tide. Write these lines in your notebook. I am also getting that video. Write spring and neap tide, huh, Ayush?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
I'm going to get a video. You could see. I was showing geothermal energy implemented. Still. Can you see this one? Okay. Very nice video. How the water is full. Huh? This is the moon. Okay. See? Yes. This is what our Chandrayaan, the 3 is doing. Any special use? Because nobody knows. No.
Water
It has-
is there.
I found out the Chandrayaan 1 only. This time it is finding more manganese, everything. I think US, China, Russia, they're all envy of India. Because India has collected a lot of information within 7 days. और 7 दिन बाकी है ना? Hey, listen to this. You'll understand how this thing
Tides are caused by the moon's gravitational force pulling on the Earth and its oceans with different strengths. The pull on the near-side ocean is the strongest because it's the closest, so it moves most towards the moon. The Earth also moves towards the moon, but not so much as it's further away. Finally, the far-side ocean moves towards the moon least because it's farthest from the moon. These movements due to gravity create 2 high tides and 2 low tides as the Earth rotates through 24 hours. But there's a big object that's missing from our diagram. If we back up, we can also see the sun and how it lights up both the Earth and the moon into their day and night sides. We'll turn off the stars to make it clearer. When the moon is right in front of the sun, it's invisible to us because we can only see its dark night side. This is the new moon position. You can see that each day corresponds to 1 Earth rotation.
What you look at this diagram, wherever this moon is moving, are you not seeing this blue color is bulging?
Yes.
What is this blue color?
Water.
So wherever this moon is rotating, look here. Here it is becoming thinner. Here it is bulging. Correct?
For 7 days, that is 7 Earth rotations.
Every
The
14.
moon orbits around the Earth to its first quarter position, where we can see half its day and half its night side. After another 7 days or so, the moon orbits to the opposite side of the Earth to the sun, and we can see its full day side. This is the full moon. Then it continues on to the 3rd quarter, before returning to the new moon position to start all over again.
Look, even the position of the moon they are showing.
Does the sun also pull on the oceans and make them bulge like the moon does? Yes, everything causes gravity, and the more massive the object, the stronger it is. But this diagram isn't to scale, and the sun's much further away than the moon, reducing its tidal effect to about half that of the moon's. But this is important when the sun and moon line up so their gravitational attractions combine to make supertides. This happens at the new moon, making the high tides higher and the low tides lower. This extreme tide is called a spring tide. But when the moon goes into the 1st quarter, the gravities pull in different directions, and the sun actually takes away from the moon's tidal effect. The high tides are not so high and the low tides are not so low. This more moderate tide is called a neap tide.
I understood what did he say? This is a neat tide. Look at the quadrature position.
Yes.
Correct. So Earth is here, Moon is here, and Sun is here. So neither the high tide will be higher nor the low tide. So it is neap tide. How much percent it should be low?
20%.
And when it is new moon, 20% high.
High.
Okay, correct.
At the full moon, the moon and sun's gravities line up again, so we get another spring tide.
Okay. Hey, why only this side they are showing more? Because the pull is more from whom? Moon. And why is less from Sun?
Four.
Sun is far away from as compared to Moon. Moon is the only dash to the Earth.
Closer.
Huh? Satellite. No other planet has a satellite called Moon because Moon always keeps rotating and revoluting around the Earth. Is there any planet got its own satellite? वो हाँ बोल रहे ना बोल रहे क्या? No, nobody else.
At the third quarter, the gravities are out of whack again, so we get another neap tide.
In quadrature.
Then back at the new moon position, the moon's gravity combines with the sun's to start over again with another spring tide.
Look at bulging is very.
Each month, the Earth spins almost 30 times, so we get nearly 60 high tides and 60 low tides. Of these, 2 are spring tides and 2 are neap tides.
Much how much?
75.
Out of 80.
Yes.
Very good.
All
And
marks went in math work.
why so?
Choose Centrum World.
Map marking, why man?
I got only 4 in math.
Out of 10. This
Yes.
is very poor.
This is what creates the tide. So, the side of the earth closer.
Okay.
She got
Hi there, welcome to Bright Side Science. So, today's topic is tides. First of all, I would like to explain what is a tide in a quick short sentence.
That's it.
Tides are the regular rise and fall of the sea levels around the globe. Coastal areas experiences 2 high and 2 low tides every day. There are many factors involved in creating tides, like the gravitational pull of the earth, the sun, and the moon.
Listen to
The most significant factor is the gravitational pull of the moon. Even though the sun is much more massive and has stronger overall gravity than the moon is closer to the earth. So the tide generating force is stronger than the sun. Imagine that the earth is here and the moon is directly above it. Now they exert a gravitational pull on one another. And we know that due to the gravitational pull of the earth, most things on earth are grounded. Like if you throw a ball, it will fall due to the earth's gravitational pull. But the ocean water being fluid, which can able to flow easily, it can be pulled towards the moon, and this is what creates the tide. So, the side of the earth closest to the moon experience the strong gravitational pull of the moon, which causes the sea to rise, creating high tides. High tide will form on the other side too. This happens because this side is further away from the moon and the centrifugal force counterbalances Earth's gravitational pull towards its center. So, there are 2 tidal rises created on the opposite sides of the Earth. One is due to the gravitational pull of the moon and the other is due to the centrifugal force of the Earth. Since ocean water is pulled higher in the areas of the 2 high tides, there is less water in between 2 high tides. These areas are the low tide areas. The high tides and low tides occur only when there is moon and the earth.
use the word called centrifugal.
Yes,
Right? What is
it was-
centrifugal?
it was relaxed.
What's this? It is that force which absorbs all the substance to the center of the earth. Centrifugal. उसका opposite क्या है? Centripetal, which is not absorbing, it is distracting. है ना? Why we are jumping anyhow? Why we are coming back to the earth? 2 things. One is gravity. Second, the centrifugal. It will absorb to the center. Okay, leave it.
So, what is the role of Sun in the tide? Sun is the most significant celestial body in our solar system. Its gravity holds the solar system together, keeping everything from the biggest planet to the smallest particle of debris in its orbit. That means the Sun exerts more gravitational pull and it has an influence on the tides as well. However, the Sun's gravitational pull can do 2 things. Either it will increase the Moon's gravitational pull on the Earth or diminish the gravitational pull on Earth. During the full moon and new moon phases, the Sun, Earth, and Moon arrange themselves more or less along a line in space. Then, the pull on the tides increases because the gravity of the Sun reinforces the Moon's gravity. Thus, in a new moon or a full moon, the tide range is at maximum. This is spring tide. And during waxing and waning moons, the Sun and the Moon are at right angles as seen from Earth. Then, Sun's gravity is working against the gravity of the Moon as the Moon pulls on the sea. This results in the unusual small tides called neap tides.
All those things are clear now. Everyone. At least this video will make it very clear what is the difference between a which and which tide. Spring tide and a neap tide. What is the next portion that we have to do?
So ocean current.
Ocean current. Now this is, I feel every time my students tell me, are a little bit confusing to understand. I'll make it very clear. Ocean current. Let's draw the earth now. Understand? Then you go ahead. Okay. What is this is known as equator. Then we have
Tropical.
forget Tropic of Cancer. Hey, Ayush, you tell me what is this line? Tropic of Tropic of what? Cancer.
No.
Tell me clearly.
No.
This is which pole? MP.
No.
Golf pole. Golf pole किधर है इधर? South pole. Okay. Now, if I want to explain this very clearly, I have to explain the zones. If you remember, this zone. Anybody?
So torrid zone.
Correct. Torrid zone है? Ayush, correct है ये?
Yes, sir.
बाबा, तू भी support कर. This is which zone?
Temperate.
Temperate. पक्का?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Guys are so brilliant. Huh?
That is clearly the exam. And torrid one zero.
Achha, that is what you remember. And last zone, Ayush bata, what is North Pole and South Pole zone known as? Tell me.
Frigid.
Frigid zone. ये एग्जाम में आया करके याद है वरना वो भी भूल गए. Is it all the zones clear?
Sir, but ma'am didn't give marks.
Why?
I did the degrees also. Still.
Then also, but you should go and feed her something. Now look here, everyone. Now when I'm saying the current is moving from torrid zone towards pole, correct? It will be a which current? It will be generally a warm current. Correct? Two warm current. Sir, it is moving from which zone to which zone? From torrid zone to temperate and frigid. Now, if I want to show you another current which is moving from where? Frigid zone to temperate zone or to the equator. This will be which current? It will be cold current. Draw this picture now. Not the picture, sorry, diagram. Easy for you to understand. How it is a warm current and how it is a cold current. Draw this diagram, Ayush.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If you have a color pen, draw it with a color pen. If not, that will do. That is the last. But afraid of ghosts. Oh, really?
Sir, not.
I'm so afraid of the same thing. Then why are you staying? And then you are afraid of what? Yourself?
Yes.
Are you so dangerous? Let us ask to her. Are you? She is always. Late night getting up and going to washroom is a real trouble, huh? Without mother's help. I watch all the horror movies between 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning. 3 to 5. That is the time you should watch. And she says. That is the time they come out. And उसको लगता है कि मैं तो मूवी देख रहा हूँ फिर चले जाओ. I don't have a proper sleep. I'm at least looking to sleep better than the other. Every 2 hours I get up and watch the movies and start watching it lately. When I was working abroad, there was a every week I watched about 30 years in that. But aliens का वो दिया. But ठीक है. Homesickness. What is homesickness? should be aware from your parents, especially for some treatments. When I call them, these guys are sleeping. When these guys are sleeping and getting up and running the times. Well, ask.
In which country?
Toronto. I call this Toronto. I was next to the after calling it today.
Orlando is last year.
That is in US. New Jersey. This is closer to California.
But then it's a private.
What visit? What exams? What it is?
So because of private air pressure problem, it's crying.
So what it is? Chalo, did you draw this diagram? Now, out of all the currents that we are going to do, we'll have 2 warm currents and 2 cold currents. That's what you have to remember. I am turning the page to 121. We are directly moving to Gulf Stream. You only pick up the line and mark it. No need to remember fully. Gulf Stream. Underline. Extensions towards North Atlantic Drift. This is point number 1. It is a powerful, warm, and swift Atlantic Ocean current. Second point. Put number 1. Second point. It originates in the Gulf of Mexico. Hey, what is Gulf of Mexico? Anybody?
Which is in Mexico.
Ooh, what a lovely. Do we have Gulf of Munnar in India?
Yes, a bit down.
In between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Do we have Gulf of Cambay?
Yes.
It's in Gujarat. Gujarat mein hai. Let's proceed. Aapka world map hai, Gujarat nahi dikega. Let's proceed. Second point. In fact, third point. The northern stream crossing northern Europe. Did you see? Second para, second line. First line. And southern stream recirculating off West Africa. What is recirculating? Taking a U-turn. Where is it? नहीं दिखेगा वो इंडिया मैप नहीं दिखेगा. It's okay. Abhi just teaching that India map to my 10th standard.
They are having India fully.
Oh, fully Indian. Even next year you are not going to study world map. You are going to study Indian map. Indian geography. I feel that is the vacation. Because Indian map is more important. Oh, my 12th student, she told me, sir, if I lost in India, how should I come out? Indian map helps me. So I asked her, if you are lost in Europe, sir, mujhe jana hi nahi hai, to why should I get lost? Hai na? That's a very logic question. So when I teach Indian map, they listen at each and everything. Sorry, India, yes, sir, we should know where, which is the place. And you know, have you gone for any trekking? What is trekking?
Mountain.
Mountain kidhar hai? Is human mein hilly karno wahi bahut. You know, do we have a hill in isko puchta? Ayush, we have a hill in Khargar. What is the name of that? Very smart. What is the name of the hill, Ayush?
No.
You haven't gone.
No,
Why, man? It is known as Pandav Ghada. One of my 10th student fooled me, sir, जब महाभारत चल रहा था ना, पांडव लोग आके इधर पिकनिक करके गए. Panch Pandavs. And that is why it is known as Pandav Ghada. But I checked it in the history, they did not come to Khargar at all. So somebody told me, sir, why? They took a U-turn from Belapur and went. They never come to Khargar. But it is a small hill, but I have come, I think, but that should be in the rainy season.
Yes.
It's very slippery. And a lot of that small water stretches there. And when you are at the top of that Khargar hill line, you can see entire Belapur and Khargar. And it is quite a scenery. That will be coming. Oh, my dear daughter.
Our society goes every Sunday drinking somewhere.
You also. So
50, 60 people.
All pollution. Let's proceed now. We are moving away. Gulf Stream influences the underlying climate of North America. Did you see? Newfoundland, that is in Western Europe. Western Europe, chalega. Then go to the second last line. Its presence has led to, open bracket, strong cyclones. Then last point, it is a significant potential source of, circle the word, renewable power generation. Who can tell me the meaning of the renewable or renewable? What is it?
Coming again.
Who is coming again?
It is not waste. It is used.
Ayush, these guys don't know anything. You tell me what is the renewable. Both are saying coming again, coming again. You tell me, Ayush, what is the renewable? You also don't know? Don't know. Say don't know. I'll tell you. Okay. Because renewable, as you guys are saying like this, what does it mean? Verb is coming. You had it. What is it? What is it?
It is regenerating.
Regenerating. Ooh, on its own.
No.
How many renewable sources we have? Solar energy, okay.
Water.
Wind energy, water.
Wind.
That is wind energy. Tidal energy. Have you heard about geothermal? Anybody?
Yes.
What is geothermal? Take it. Renewable means which can be used again and again. अब ऐसा बोले तो बताएंगे. Okay, let's go to second, North Atlantic drift. It is a warm Atlantic Ocean current. Underline that, warm. Second point. In fact, warm ocean current is deflected towards east. Did you see? 2. Go down to the third point. It is warm current that keeps the ports of Europe, circle that word, free from ice. Don't you think this is very important for European ports? Which ports are they talking about?
Atlantic.
I'm saying which port? Which port? Suviksha is very happy to say. Airport, na? Then which port? You tell me, Ayush, which port?
Shipport.
Ship port we call it. You tell me, she's saying ship port. Seaport.
Seaport.
अभी एयरप्लेन आएगा तो एयरपोर्ट बोलते हैं, शिप आके रुकेगा तो शिप पोर्ट. If train comes and stands, train port. That's a very bad logic. Okay, let's go to the next point. It flows in 3 directions. Circle that word 3. Eastwards, you write 1 to UK. Northwards to Arctic 2. Spain, you write 3. So in exam, if they ask 3, 1 is UK, Arctic, and third is Spain. Spain. Spain only. What is the language?
Spanish.
And who are the people?
Spanish. Spanish.
You tell me, Ayush. What about Spain? They are called as Spaniards. 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 Don't know. Let's go to Spain to understand. Hey, I'm moving to Labrador. I remember one of my students asking, sir, is it Labrador or Labrador? Labrador. The variety of the dog coming from that is Labrador. But we are not confusing. Labrador may be a cold current or a warm current. The word itself is saying cold current. Labrador is from Canada, the place. Very cold. Arctic Ocean. Have you heard about Arctic?
Yes.
What it is?
Ocean.
Let's move ahead. It's a cold current flowing from Arctic to Labrador. Only underline that something. Second point, it continues south along the east coast of Nova Scotia. Bracket, which place is Nova Scotia? You write Canada. Ayush, you also write down. Nova Scotia is Canada. Next, where here?
It is a continuation of.
Then it meets warm Gulf Stream at Great Bank. It's in, I think, France.
Wow.
Combination of these 2 currents produce heavy fog. Circle that word fog. And richest fishing ground. Why this fishing ground is very important? Like European countries, normally they are the biggest exporter of fish. Like we have Canada, we have New Zealand. In Asia, which are the biggest?
Japan,
Very good. Which else?
China,
Very good.
India.
India, okay. India का climate के वजह से we don't, but we export. But normally it is Japan, Singapore. They import.
In Japan, we show in NHK.
Acha, that's a Japanese channel only.
Yes,
You like it?
yes, very good.
But it is all Japanese language. Now you understand?
I
Some. You learn Japanese? Now tell me a few lines. Hey, Ayush, you want to learn Japanese?
Yes, sir.
Wait. We have she speaks Japanese. Tell few lines to Ayush.
no.
Ask him how are you?
Sir, I can understand.
I remember one of my friend always say, I know Japanese. I say Fukushima. I'm like Tokushima. That's what I understand. Now that is not a Japanese language. But how do they bow their head and speak? Is it? In fact, Japanese people are, I feel, the most respectable citizens. Unlike we Indians, hey, bye. Hi, bye, udhar nahi chalte. They respectfully
They
bow down.
only speak in their language.
Ah,
Speak in English.
no, they speak. They speak
Only
English.
sound of words.
Nowadays the young kids are like nowadays you hear which pop, J-pop, na?
K-pop.
K-pop. Ruko. Hey, you listen to pop songs? Ayush,
No, sir.
you don't listen to songs. अभी देखो ये तो J-pop सुनता है और आप
No.
K-pop.
No.
No? So then what?
What?
Somebody told me sir B-pop. मैं बोले ये कौन सा नया pop? Bollywood pop.
Oh.
Chalo, let's proceed. Okay. We are moving to the waters of the Labrador Current. Did you see?
Yes.
Under a cooling effect on Canadian province. बस उतना ही है. Let us go to अभी नाम आते ही समझ लेने का ये सब ताइवान है. Kuroshio. Strong western boundary begins. Did you see second line? Of the east coast of Taiwan. It flows past Japan. अभी हम लोग जापान का बात किया. We are into Japan. Where it merges directly into New Pacific. Only Japan तक कर. It is an analogous to the Gulf of Stream. What is analogous? Flows parallel. Transporting warm current. Sometime, ये question आया था एक बार. What is black stream? Circle the word black stream. Question mark. What is black stream? English name of the Kuroshio.
So this will come in 50 days.
How would I? It may come. Don't ask me that kind of questions. Hey, if they ask you what is black stream, you write English name of which current? Oyashio. What is Oyashio? Sorry, Kuroshio. What is Kuroshio? In which language it is? It is Taiwanese. Have you heard Taiwan? It's a very industrially and technologically very advanced, very small. It is under the control of whom now? China only. We are Nepal खुद का हाल खराब. China, Hong Kong, Taiwan. It's directly or indirectly China only controlling them.
Yes.
I see. In fact, it calls earlier the Chinese Taipei, and इधर का Taipei. They write the name of the country like this. China तो लिखा ही रहेगा, and it is Taipei. अभी बट उसने नाम हांगकांग कर लिया. Hong Kong is the last province of the British, last independence from the British. I remember it was in the year 1991. But China अपने हाथ में रखा है. Has kept very strict. Hong Kong wants to. That's why I keep sending the jets and Hong Kong. That lady, she doesn't like it. But पता नहीं, that small country can defeat a big country called China. They are very smart people. Let's proceed. Which one?
Original citizens.
But original is from America, na? You got
Yes.
Hong Kong, Disneyland.
Hong Kong, Singapore, and
But it is $75 is the ticket. मैं बाहर से बोलता हूँ अच्छा है, but you aim to understand.
I get it. Yes.
Let's proceed. Kuroshio. let's where we are. Analog is okay. It brings the warm waters of Kuroshio, underline coral reefs of Japan. And the branch into the Sea of Japan is called, look at this name, Tsushima. Very interesting name, Tsushima. Then it brings underline rich fisheries of East China Sea into Sea of Japan. Circle that word. High concentration of uranium. Now, who can tell me? Nobody will tell except Ayush. Hey, what is uranium, Ayush? Take it. Hey, these guys know what is uranium. Ayush, you tell me. What is uranium? He's busy. What is uranium?
Chemical element.
It is radioactive element. Where it is used? It is radioactive.
Nuclear.
Nucleons. Okay.
Nuclear bomb.
Nuclear reactor. Nuclear bomb, but don't use the destructive user. We'll say nuclear reactor. Do we have nuclear reactor in our country?
Yes.
Which energy we produce? Nuclear energy.
Nuclear.
There are two types of reaction. One is fission and other is fusion.
Fusion.
Which reaction takes place inside a nuclear reactor?
Fusion.
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 I shall say fission. Is it fission?
Fusion.
It's a confusion. It's a fission reaction because fusion reaction will blast. That's bomb.
Right side correct.
But bomb kidhar, it is fission, not fusion.
Fusion.
Okay, let's move on. We are moving into Oyashio. It's a cold subarctic ocean current, underline cold current. Second point, flows anti-clockwise into Pacific Ocean. Third point, it collides with Kuroshio, underline the word collides. You can write meets also. Eastern shore of Japan. Next, the waters of Oyashio originates in Arctic Ocean. A Bering Sea sub told them because you'll get confused when I don't know where this is Bering Sea and all that stuff. Let us leave that one point. The waters of Oyashio current, underline, richest fishing ground. And then go down. It also causes what is the name of the place? Vladivostok. Hey, where is this Vladivostok?
Japan.
Oh, it is in Russia.
Russia.
One of the important place. The most equatorial seasonally freeze and requires ice breaking ship. ये current की वजह से freeze हो जाता है.
How do you
Vladivostok. Be silent. Vladivostok.
exactly?
It's a very popular place in Russia. Not heard.
I don't know.
मुझे बोलता है Vladimir. अरे वो Zelensky का भी नाम Vladimir ही है. उसका friend name Vladimir is Vladimir Alansky. And this one is Vladimir Putin. दोनों एक दूसरे के से killing the people of the Ukraine. Let us go to the last line. However, this relatively effect underline little effect on fish. How do you pronounce these two places? It is Otos because open bracket large tide means freezing does not occur. Now do one thing. Out of 5 ocean currents, you tell me which ocean current you want me to give. Because I feel not all are easy for you to learn.
So we can directly question answer.
You tell me which ocean current you want me to give notes. Ayush, are you happy to learn it from the textbook straight away?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he said yes. What is our smiling students? Okay, we can go to the next heading, effect of ocean currents. And when I said about effect of ocean currents, you remember they flow normally in the coastal regions. Either they affect the water or they affect the people who are living in coastal regions. The biggest effect is on the fishing ground. Okay, so let's move temperature. We have 5 minutes to go. Warm or cold ocean currents flowing near a coast, underline, exert a significant climatic influence. What is exert? Puts. Significant is great. The warm equatorial currents
tend to rise.
underline rise the temperature. बस उतना ही करना. Not rise, it is raise. Then go down to rainfall. Air above the warm ocean current becomes warm, underline. Acquires greater capacity to absorb moisture. Winds help in increasing the precipitation. Precipitation, you underline and write rainfall. And it is a form of rainfall. Then go to fog. I'm reading only first line of the rainfall. Okay, see. I'm going a bit fast only the first line of all. Dense fog occurs when underline warm and cold current meets. Go down to second point of fog. The air above the warm current is warm, circle, acquires a lot of water vapor. Then directly go down Japanese only violent storms. Violent storms follow underline the line of meeting of cold and warm currents. Meeting of cold, underline hurricanes and underline events. You know what are hurricanes? These are moving winds. Normally tornadoes. Tornadoes are on the land. Hurricanes are from the water, ocean. But both are swirling winds, very fast. Let us go to marine organism. Sea has underlined innumerable microscopic organisms. What are they called? Planktons. What are the planktons? They are good for seafood. Fish feed on the planktons. Let us go to next. Effect on commerce. Commerce का bracket में लिखो business.
Yes.
On account of influence of warm currents, harbors kept open in winter, circle, facilitating the trade throughout the year. Simple. Huh? We talk about Russia, we talk about Japan. If it is very cold, these winters, the sea freezes. But if the warm current is coming in, no need for the ships to wait. The ships can come and go free. That is helping in which.
Fishes also freeze.
No. Dekho. Not entire sea will freeze. That much amount of cold we do not have. Only the upper part. And fish are cold-blooded animals. And they just go below and they can change the temperature of the body according to the temperature of the water. As long as sunlight is reaching, they are happy. If sunlight doesn't reach us, the oxygen will not be generated. And that is a process we explain in 10th ICSE. Anybody knows? Eutrophication. Eutrophication is a process where sunlight doesn't reach us and the water is in lack of oxygen. And oxygen comes to fish pura dead. Example, underline coast of UK and Norway and Montreal. Again, you write Canada, that is St. Lawrence River. And sailing vessels are aided or hindered by the direction. Come on, read all this. We got still 2 minutes to go. Let me show you a video if I get it. Please read all the ocean currents. They are very important. I've done it in a gist so that you don't do full part. I'm showing ocean currents. How many books? How many questions are given? Many. How many? Tell me.
In short answers, there are 10.
Oh. Hey, no, not that one. Worksheet wala.
5.
Only 5.
Yes.
Any of the question you want me to do? Okay. Look here, this is what they are explaining to cold ocean currents.
Cargo ship carrying asteroids got caught in sink. Shipping containers watching the war, and waves swept 20,000 rubber ducks and other toys.
Pacific, but they didn't stick together. Quite the opposite. The ducks have since washed up all over the world, and researchers have used their paths to chart a better understanding of ocean currents. Ocean currents are driven by a range of sources: the wind, tides, changes in water density, and the rotation of the Earth. The topography of the ocean floor and the shoreline modifies those motions, causing currents to speed up, slow down, or change direction. Ocean currents fall into two main categories: surface currents and deep ocean currents. Surface currents control the motion of the top 10% of the ocean's water, while deep ocean currents mobilize the other 90%. Though they have different causes, surface and deep ocean currents influence each other in an intricate dance that keeps the entire ocean moving. Near the shore, surface currents are driven by both the wind and tides, which draw water back and forth as the water level falls and rises. Meanwhile, in the open ocean, wind is the major force behind surface currents. As wind blows over the ocean, it drags the top layers of water along with it. That moving water pulls on the layer.
Only the top layer. And what is deep? Which is below the surface. Okay.
Layers underneath, and those pull on the ones beneath them. In fact, water as deep as 400 meters is still affected by the wind at the ocean's surface. If you zoom out to look at the patterns of surface currents all over the Earth, you'll see that they form big loops called gyres, which travel clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. That's because of the way the Earth's rotation affects the wind patterns that give rise to these currents. If the Earth didn't rotate, air and water would simply move back and forth between low pressure at the equator and high pressure at the poles. But as the Earth spins, air moving from the equator to the North Pole is deflected eastward, and air moving back down is deflected westward. The mirror image happens in the southern hemisphere, so that the major streams of wind form loop-like patterns around the ocean basins. This is called the Coriolis effect. The winds push the ocean beneath them.
Understood what is Coriolis? When the Earth is moving from the northern ocean, it is going towards the east, whereas in southern, it is going towards the west. Whereas these two ocean currents are meeting at the equator. It is just because of the rotation of the Earth. That is called which effect? Coriolis. Okay. So did you understand, Ayush?
Yes, sir.
What did you understand? Solve the question answers, 1 to 5. There are how many questions? 5. And I'll be giving some assignments besides these questions from next lecture onwards. Okay. Sure. Thank you and see you next lecture. Ayush.
Bye, sir.